My poll tax certificate from 1960 when we had to pay $2 or $3 to vote, and we only made $2 or $3. So you had to choose between eating or voting. That was the suppression back in the 60s. If you missed 1 year, they doubled it up on you the next year. I didn't have to pay because I was a veteran. So this is my exemption certificate, but I had to show it. So when they say you don't have to show ID, we've been showing ID since we started voting.
Positive energy all the time. Rep your city, rep your city. Everybody on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. Let's get it. We got San Jose in the building. Good to see you, more power. Y'all come on in, come on in. Come on in. We got Miami in the building. Miami is in the house. We're going to talk politics, the political situation for Black people in the United States, particularly foundational Black America, is not looking well at all. I'm not sure what can get accomplished without any political power. We got Richmond in the building. Anybody knows to really get somewhere, you have to control a certain amount of business for your people. And anybody knows that politics is connected with business. And the less political you are, the less likely you are to excel as business, as a group. So we're going to talk about that. We do have some foundational Black Americans that's doing good business, but we're not really stepping up when it comes to business on a national level, on a state level, or on a city level. I don't see us owning any gas stations. And I don't see any political candidates talking about those type of things. No move to get some gas stations. No moves to open stores. No moves to have our own gyms like LA Fitness. Uh, really nothing. This is why you don't see me going on a lot of these pro-black YouTube channels talking about ancient Egypt and Hebrew Israelites, and they don't talk about anything that would provide any economical growth for the black community. Nothing. A lot of your, I guess you would call it, black conscious talking heads are not foundational black Americans. So they intentionally avoid subjects that could benefit foundational black Americans, and they feel awkward living around a lot of foundational black Americans. They just really just be in America for economical reasons. So they don't really talk too much about anything that would benefit black Americans that been here for over a century. Some been here before the Europeans got here. They don't talk about that type of stuff. So that's why I don't really like talking to them people. The debates over ancient Kemet, Hebrew Israelites, Moors, all that's nonsense, foolishness. All those groups, ancient Egyptians, Moors, Hebrew Israelites, are worthless. Worthless. Absolutely worthless. They bring nothing to the table for melanated people in a whole. They push division. They push nonsense, religion, weird concepts. Same for the Pan Africans and the so called black militants. They bring nothing to the table. Some of these brothers, they've been on the internet for years. No political plans, no economical plans. I've watched some of them go from red, black, and green RBG comedic revolutionaries to internet gossipers on the internet talking about mainstream news, what people doing. I said, look at this bozo. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was some kind of comedic god, and you turned the TMZ, red, black, and green TMZ. Boy, if you don't sit down somewhere. They don't even bring any type of security forces to the black community. We don't have the security services we need. When you look at economical development in the black community, the key to economical development in the black community is security services. Meaning, if we did get a strip and we wanted people to invest in a strip in the black community where we would have stores and restaurants and dentists off, we would have to secure it from smash and grabs. So we'd have to have our own security services park on the block to make sure that the brothers and sisters business establishments aren't broken into and damaged. I remember some two young brothers here in Chicago. They opened up a store. It got broke into. They gathered themselves together. They came up with the money. They fixed it. They reopened it. It got broke into again. and again, and they left. They left because they opened the businesses but didn't have the security forces to make sure that the businesses weren't vandalized. Now, these businesses and these security forces and these security agencies, that's economics. That's economics. But don't nobody talk about stuff like that. So election after election after election after election, no specifics for the black community. The Mexican community, they don't get specifics, but they work together to build their communities, to open stores, and to make sure that they secure their communities. You don't see smash and grabs over in a little village like that. You don't see that. So they're able to come in and have businesses and have a flourishing community, have their own phone stores where you can buy El Telefone and their own stores that carry specific food that they like, their own access to shipping to get food from Mexico that they like, all of that. They do it themselves. Now, while I'm on that, let me explain why. When you had the Great Migration to the North, the money from the cotton industry and the railroad and the beef industry was creating great economics in the North. So, one of the main factors behind the abolishment of slavery was the need of more workers in the North. And so the Great Migration was really absolutely necessary because after so much beef was being produced and cattle raised and railroads and trains and cab companies and bus companies and police and all these businesses, they didn't have enough people up north for New York, Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Miami. They didn't have workers for these flourishing cities. There wasn't enough white Americans to do the work. So that's why they had to sign the Civil Rights Bill, because there was no way the country could grow. White Americans couldn't grow the country by themselves, something that some racist white groups don't want to admit. They didn't have the manpower to build the United States that you see today. And so by the time I got out of high school, I worked at a factory and it was whites and blacks working there because it had to be all hands on deck to print as many books as we needed to be printed. Hundreds of thousands of orders is hundreds of thousands. This company wants 10,000 of this book. This company wants 50,000 of this book. This company wants 200,000 of this book. So it was all economical. They began to hire blacks for bus drivers, trains, police, doctors, lawyers. They needed every aspect you could think of was needed as the economy began to boom in this country. And so now, as you see business leaning towards automation, they're beginning to think we don't need you anymore. We can have computers do this work and robots and automation. We can have automated factories, and we don't need you to drive Uber. We got the self-driving cars now. We don't need you to drive trucks. We have the self-driving trucks. And so for foundational Black Americans, if you don't unite, stop talking about a bunch of gossip and a bunch of nonsense, and really focus on what you're going to do economically as a group, you're going to find yourself in camps, homeless camps, on basic income, basically a worse form of welfare than they got today. And none of these militant generals are going to be able to help you because they're going to be there too. Running to Africa is not going to help you. As you see, the United States is in Nigeria helping them. Nigeria is the biggest population in Africa. And so if you're thinking about going to Africa to leave the United States behind, you slow. Because the United States and China and Russia and Europe is going to be fighting over Africa and the resources in Africa. That's the land of Armageddon that you read in the Bible. That's the land of the last big war. When the Chinese, according to the scriptures, march out of the north, following the path of the Euphrates into North Africa for the last final war. That's going to take place in Africa. Because Africa is running the world. Africa is providing all this iron ore for these cars. Africa is providing much of this oil, gold, platinum, uranium, cobalt, all of the metals for these spacecrafts, all of the precious metals coming out of South Africa. They just tell you about the gold and diamonds. They don't tell you about the metals used for satellites and spaceships that they're getting. So when you look at politics in America, politics for foundational Black Americans is extremely weak. When you watch the talking heads for the Democratic Party, they're not bringing anything to the table. The only thing the Democratic Party is bringing to foundational Black Americans is fear. No achievements, just fear. And I hate to pick on Roland Martin, but he's just a good example. I got nothing personally against him, but he's one of the main talking heads for Blacks to support the Democratic Party. And he don't be selling nothing but fear. You never hear Roland Martin ever tell us any benefits. You don't see it. You don't see any talk of any benefits for Black people. No. What? My brother G-Rod, he from Nigeria. The brothers and sisters from Africa, they just as slow as we are. Because what would make them think they got any chance without us being in power? The only chance that black immigrants got is foundational black Americans. Without foundational black Americans, they're done. They're only here because of our support and the fear of us supporting them if somebody try to do something to them. If you take that away, they gone. All of the benefits of black immigrants supposed to come through foundational black Americans, through our success. We're supposed to be successful in hiring our brothers and sisters from Ghana, from Ethiopia. We're the ones supposed to be hiring them. But they're not supporting us for us to get in the position to hire them. So they're at the mercy of white America. And we know how that's going to turn out. I mean, that's irrelevant. What's your point? Typical. This is what I'm talking about. Now, he wants to argue who's indigenous, this and that. I'm talking business, right? And look. That's why I don't talk to these people. Look, he wants to talk about who was here. He want to say we did indigenous America. Do we got any gas stations? We got indigenous gas stations? He on YouTube. We got an indigenous social media. See, this foolishness. This type of foolishness I'm talking about. Straight foolishness. He wants to talk about us being here thousands of years ago, and I'm talking about us today. What difference does it make when we got here? What is that really, you understand? Just foolishness. Straight foolish. What does that have to do with anything I'm talking about? Political power. When we got here. Because anybody knows that all black people wasn't here, unless you slow. Anybody knows that there was some black people here, but all black people here was not here already. Anybody knows that. And anybody knows a lot of black people here was bred during slavery. And anybody knows that a lot of black people now have came here. Many Africans, many Jamaicans, many Trinidadians were not here. How were Jamaicans here when they came here? And so I'm glad he said that, because this shows you that we're not in touch with survival today. We got people like that want to talk make-believe, and he going to get his ass up and he going to go to work for them people, right? And being here in America, he going to pay his phone bill that's not his. He going to pay his car insurance that's not his. He going to drive a car that's not his. He going to pay the car insurance that's not his. He going to pay his, if he got a home, the home insurance is not his. Nothing is his. Nothing he's paying been here. Nothing that he's paying and doing has anything to do with being indigenous. And he has a slave name given to him by Europeans. He doesn't have an indigenous name. He has a slave name. Him and his whole family. If they've been in this country, they do not have an indigenous name. Johnson, Smith, Robinson is not indigenous at all. And YouTube is not indigenous. So go find indigenous social media. Yeah, go find indigenous social media, because this is brought to you by YouTube, Comcast, and ComEd. Yeah, This electricity is provided by Commonwealth Edison. This internet is brought to you by Comcast and Apple computers. I'm just saying. And bills are being paid to the system for me to be here to talk to you today. And if I don't pay these bills, I'll be homeless. I don't have any indigenous bills. You don't have any indigenous clothes. Where's your indigenous clothes? Where's your indigenous restaurants? Where's your indigenous transportation systems? So if you've been here a long time and you don't have nothing, that means you're slow. Because if you was here first, but now you last, I don't see where that's nothing to brag about. Or we was here first, but we ain't got nothing. It's basically what he's saying. We've been here. I can't tell. If you look at it, it looks like white people being here. I don't know. I don't know. But if you look around America and you said, if you came from another planet and you looked at America and you say, who was here first? Aliens would say whites. I'm just saying, you don't look like you've been here first. I don't know. I don't know. Right? So this is why I don't go on those type of platforms with a bunch of losers like that, because they're going to hate me anyway. And then they can't do nothing about it because I'm rooted and booted and got a whole military behind me. They don't care. They street dudes. They just going to roll when they say roll. So they don't care. And I'm constantly talking to them. So I be in the hood talking, and it's harder than here. This is nothing compared to out on the block. Oh man, that's a whole nother video. They're so far behind. Far. And the so-called smart ones on social media is not helping the community none, because you're not saying nothing relative to the streets. You talking stupid stuff like you've been here, you indigenous, like stupid, unnecessary conversation. The title of this is FBA will flip on Republican or not vote at all. I got note. Let me change that. That's supposed to say not. Hold on. Right? And dudes want to argue dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? That we Moors. Stupid stuff like that. Unnecessary nonsense. That's all on rosters too. They're talking all this great stuff about Ethiopia. Ain't got a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of, ain't got a plane, nothing. This is just how we living right now. It's not just that. It's not the fact that they bent on the indigenous conversation. It's the fact that they're not talking about no type of development. You could pick any conversation, but if it's not about any type of unity, any type of development, that's my point. If it's not about any development, all of the conversations are nonsense. Basically, to be honest, G-Rock, not just that conversation, almost every conversation that we have is non-progressive. It's argumentative. Right? It's what the brothers want to do. They intentionally pick a conversation that is non-progressive, a conversation that just goes around and around and around, basically. It's done for a lack of knowledge to talk about anything else. And they've been taught that debating like that is intelligence. That's why I don't respect Sarnetta, because he has a lot to do with that, pushing non-progressive debates that don't further the progress of black people in the country. You know, you want to talk about if you're a Hebrew or you Egyptian. I mean, okay, you're gonna pay your bills with that? What kind of bills could you pay with that? In the real world? None. And as we get into a more computerized world, we're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna be in trouble because when the jobs get cut, guess whose jobs is gonna be? It's gonna be Africans, Caribbeans, and foundational Black Americans. You're gonna be out of here. To my brothers and sisters as immigrants, you're done. They just used you to buy time. You're done. You think they're gonna let you stay over here when you're no longer needed? Black immigrants going to be the first to go to camps before us. You're the first to go. These are facts. You don't serve any purpose. What purpose you serve? They got cars that drive by themselves. They're developing nurses. They're developing computerized nurses. They're developing computerized doctors and nurses. Doctors are going to be out of here because what good is a doctor? Doctors are worthless. Doctors are done. For what? When you go to the doctor, who actually the one to see what's wrong with you? The nurse. The nurse, the nurse take your blood. The nurse do your blood pressure and all that. And then the results come back and the doctor just read the results. Well, the computer could read the results. The computer gonna read the results. So what you need a doctor for? If he's not actually a surgeon to assist the computerized surgery that they're working on, your surgery gonna be all computerized, and there's gonna have to be a doctor that have these technological type training to make sure that the computer do the surgery right. The doctor not gonna do, no surgeon ain't gonna do no surgery no more. No doctor gonna give you no stitches no more. All that's gonna be robotic. And the only person that's going to have a job is the person that can read the screen to make sure that the computerized surgery and stuff is done correctly. No, you don't need it. What they need you in the office for? Your office job is out of here. What they need, they don't need you to drive a bus. They don't need you to drive a truck. They don't need you at all. They only need a few people that have the skills to supervise the technology as the technology does all the work. It'd be like a skeleton crew to make sure that all the robots and all the computerized stuff does its job. That's it. it's a wrap. So don't be surprised if a lot of people just start getting sick, or bit with ticks, or bit with this, or bit with that. Or don't be surprised if it's a huge Ebola outbreak. Don't be surprised, because you're worthless. So when you look at the politics, we don't have anybody worth voting for. Who? Who do you have to vote for? I got brothers and sisters in Chicago. They got good intentions. They want to flip Chicago red because they say the Democrats aren't doing anything. And I agree with them. The Democrats aren't doing anything. But there's efforts to get involved with the government, but there's no efforts for what you're going to do when you do get involved. Right? When you do get involved with politics, what are you going to do? Because when you get involved with politics, you're still going to be at the mercy of big business. Right now in Chicago, Walgreens are closing left and right. There is no black person that's going to win office that's going to be able to open them back up. It's not going to happen. How? But I definitely support the effort of the brothers and sisters. They feel like the current people in there ain't doing nothing. And I agree. The Democratic Party is a failure. The Democratic Party started pandering for immigrant votes, which was a huge mistake. You can't bring in a bunch of unskilled workers when you got unskilled workers. You already got a bunch of people ain't graduated from high school and stuff like that, and ain't really going to college like that. So, I talked about that yesterday when they talk about unskilled. That's a trick word because Americans ain't skilled like that. There's no whole bunch of people becoming electricians and plumbers and stuff like that. America's not known for a lot of schools where you can learn to be an electrician, a plumber, learn how to lay concrete and cement and stuff. And that's not popular like that. Not really. America's graduating a bunch of people that can't find jobs. All over the internet now, there are young people, white, black, and Hispanic and Asian, crying because they can't pay their bills because they got a regular job and they got a school loan they can't pay and they can't find no job that matches their education. And so if you got all of these people going to these colleges in America that can't find no jobs, they got educated, but yet you bringing in Asians and Africans and Indians and giving them jobs. before you give the American students jobs that their family been here, one would have to assume that you're paying the immigrants less. You're paying the Africans less. You're paying the Indians and the Asians, you're paying them less. You're paying them less than you're paying the whites. And anybody that worked, which a lot of these people that think they're on my level, these black conscious, they ain't been in the system. So you're talking to a lot of times a bunch of losers that decided they want to talk black because they don't know nothing. They haven't really been in the system at the top. They might have had a little job at the bottom, but they ain't really worked in the system like that. At 18, I worked for a stock exchange. Then I worked for the U.S. Treasury Department. I really worked in the system. I know how it goes. I didn't have no little bullshit job when I got out of high school. I worked at some of the top type of employment. And those jobs, they're not letting you get those jobs no more. You ain't coming out of high school working at no stock exchange or nothing like that no more. That's over with. And if you worked at those jobs, rule number one, you cannot discuss your salary. And so if you're African or Asian or Hispanic working, you ain't making what the white employees making. You're making less. And they know foundational black Americans, they know we're going to want to make the same amount. So it's their advantage to bring over immigrants to have them work for cheaper. Then they play the whites and to get us out the game because we too busy competing with the whites. When an African or Asian Hispanic, they just happy to be here. Any little money they take, they ain't gonna ask no questions because it's better than where they came from. So they know that. And they know you came from India. India's a mess. You know anything about India? India's dirty. India's dirty. Dirty water. India is atrocious. You know what happens to women in India, in Africa? In terms of grape in Asia? They have like a small festive time a year in Africa where they grape women. South Africa, a woman gets grape, I think, like every 2 minutes. Look it up. India. You know what they do to women in India? Look it up. Pakistan, Asia, women don't got no rights over there. That's a whole other story, letting men in from them type of places. That's a whole nother story. That's another video for another day. And so we have a situation now where the Democrats aren't doing anything, and Black Americans are getting frustrated. So they want to flip Republican because they feel like the Democrats have abandoned Black Americans. But the Democrats never did a really good job, and that's why the Republicans are running everything. Because the Democrats didn't look out for Americans. The Democrats, here's Americans. and you a politician and you're trying to help Americans. And then for votes, the Democrats started to pander to immigrants. So now, when you begin to pander to immigrants, the Americans feel left out. So white Americans abandoning the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party is pandering to tethers, basically. People that come and attach themselves to America that have no love for the country, they just here to suck it dry. That's a tether. A tether is somebody that come to the country and attach themselves to the country. They're not really part of the country. They're just attached to the country. You understand? And you don't know what you're talking about. No, boomers are not Africans. You don't know what you're talking about. Like me, I call myself Pharaoh, and like nobody I went to school with considered themselves African. So Benny, you really don't know what you're talking about. You're taking a couple brothers. I was born in 1958. There's nobody I grew up with change their name, do nothing African. You're just talking, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. What people like you do, Benny, you look at a handful of people and you judge the whole crowd. Black Americans born in do not consider themselves Africans at all. They pork eaters, regular blacks. I changed my name and I gave myself an Egyptian name. I'm the only one out of everybody I know. So you don't really know what you're talking about, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. Come back tomorrow. You don't know what he's talking about. This is called generalizing. They'll go on the internet and they'll see somebody do something and they'll put it on the whole group, right? So let's say if I'm pushing Africa and I'm a boomer, he'll say boomers, which is false. Me, but I'm not boomers. I'm just Pharaoh. So this Benny's totally unintelligent. Okay, go. I'll unblock you. Go study. Get your intelligence up. That's like seeing some black women, right, with false eyelashes on and a fake booty, and say black women give. No, those women don't represent black women. They just represent themselves. So he's generalized. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. The concept of Africa never caught on like that. That never caught on. Foundation of Black Americans never don't identify as Africans. And the term African American don't come from Foundation of Black Americans. It comes from the news media. I talk about that all the time. It's the news media that gave us that title. Jesse Jackson didn't give us that title, but he was in the news media, so he was using a news media title. And the title African American was made to go along with Chinese American, Italian American, German American. So that's just a descriptive title for the news media. Black people in America never called themselves African American. Black people in America always call themselves black. And so Benny's slow. He ain't outside. He probably live in some little. He don't know what he's talking about. Black people always just call themselves black. They never really call themselves African Americans. That's something we never call ourselves. We always call ourselves black. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Black people, that's why we always call ourselves black people. So African American is not a foundational Black American term. It's a media term. Black people never cared. So that whole conversation, don't even get in that conversation. Black people never gave a damn about none of that. Don't let them suck you in. Black people never cared nothing about that. Black people only related to where they moved from. That's it, not where they came from. My parents never identified where they came from other than Alabama. They never said that they always been in Alabama. When they moved to Chicago, they said they came from Alabama. They never said that they family been in Alabama since the beginning of the country. This is all nonsense. These teachers ain't teaching people nothing. Black people only identified the state they moved from, and they never identified as being indigenous from that state. I've never heard my relatives say they always been in no damn Alabama. This is nonsense. This is why none of these dudes will ever debate me. I'll make them look so stupid because nothing they say can they prove, and they babies and they ain't been outside. And I'm born in 1958. So if you wasn't born back then, you definitely don't know what you're talking about because you wasn't here during the Great Migration. And during the Great Migration, Black people only identified what state they moved from, not where they been the whole time. They didn't know. So if they moved from Mississippi, they said they was from Mississippi. They never said they've been in Mississippi forever. That's foolishness. Okay, don't y'all listen. Don't y'all listen to that. That's just new. That's people, right? Born in like the 80s and the 90s, trying to talk about some history, and they was born in the 80s. I don't know who timed you out. I didn't do it. Y'all stop timing out, brothers and sisters, unnecessarily. Okay, stop being quick on the. You know what I'm saying? Let them express themselves. Yeah, they only reference where they came from. You never see no black people back in the 60s say, we've been here the whole time. That was never a conversation. When was that a conversation? Foolishness, okay? There was never no conversation how long we've been here. And if your ass wasn't born in at least by the early 60s, shut the hell up. If you wasn't here in the late 50s and through the 60s, shut up. Just shut all the way up about black people because you don't know what you're talking about. If you wasn't here during the Great Migration when black people came from the South, you don't know nothing what you talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You was just born yesterday. And you're an internet student. And you're repeating what you see on the internet, which is mostly false. Because the internet teachers was born in the 80s and the 90s. They don't know nothing, okay? Zero. They were not around the people from the Great Migration. So they don't know nothing about Black American history. Nothing. Zero. Black Americans never gave a damn where they came from other than where they moved from. That's it. Black people was concentrating on raising their kids, paying their bills. They wasn't doing this internet knowledge nonsense. My mom and daddy was not having these discussions. Facts. None of my uncles, not my grandmother, none of my great uncles, they were not discussing anything that somebody's telling you that black people was discussing. No, they was not. No. Black people never claimed nothing past where they moved from. That's just a fact. Yeah, it's false information. And then they run into me, Big Daddy Woo Woo, and then I straighten everybody out. So a lot of these dudes on the internet talking, they don't know what they're talking about. They'll never put up no money and debate me nowhere. You was born in 1970. I was born in 1958. So if you was born in 1970, that means you didn't know nothing until 1980. By 1980, Aunt, there's no way you would know this. You would have to have been 10 in the 70s. Because I'm born in 1958, and so I don't know nothing about 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, because I was too little. So all my information I know is from 10, which would be 1968. And so when you're born, it's not where you get your knowledge from. You get your knowledge from 10 years after you're born, because you don't got no knowledge at 5. So, and all knowledge for you starts at 10 years old. I have no knowledge from 9, 8, 7, 6. I don't know nothing. I know what was going on in the house, but I don't know no national nothing at no 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. So when I say I'm born in 1958, that does not stamp me as having information from 1958. That stamps me of having information from 68. It was 1968 before I started learning any type of national information. And in 1968, they wasn't talking none of that. Now, if once you get to 1975, you wouldn't know nothing because black people ain't having the same conversations in 1975. Black people ain't having the same conversations they have in 68. Those conversations began to wane. So as they became entrenched in the community, they not talking about the same things they talking about. And so the conversations black people had when they first moved to the North, those conversations dissipated as they became entrenched into the society. And so things my mom and daddy talked about in the 60s, early 70s, they wasn't talking about none of that in the 80s. They wasn't talking about none of that. By the time you get to the 80s, you would have had to catch them soon as they moved up here. You would have to catch them in that first 15 years when they migrated. After that, they became entrenched in the society and they became modernized and they wasn't talking historically at all. Like my parents was still super Alabama until the 70s. In the 70s, my parents were Chicago. They weren't Alabama no more. My parents was Alabama from the late 50s when they had me to somewhere around in the 60s, 68, 69. By the time we go in the 70s, my parents didn't represent Alabama no more. They represent Chicago, so they really wasn't talking too much about that like that. And then the ones that would be, they start passing away. So the older ones, as they start to pass away, that history gone. Gone, that's gone. So can't nobody tell you no history that the people that would have talked about it is gone. Because most of the history that I would have got, I would have got it from my grandmother, not my mother and father, because my mother and father's only 20. So my mother and father is not going to know Alabama history like my mother's mother. So we got most of our history from our grandparents and great aunts and stuff like that, not necessarily even from our parents, because our parents was young whippersnappers. I got a lot of my knowledge from going to Alabama, not from my parents. Going around my granddaddy in Alabama and my parents' elders, I got more information than I got from my parents. And so if you wasn't at least, if you wasn't 10 by like 19, like I'll push it to 73, shit, you ain't no, shoot. All you know is 80 stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm trying to say, bro? Oh yeah, by 80s, black folks was on the hall. By 1980, bro, that stuff was been over. I graduated high school in 76 and all that stuff was gone by 76. All of it. All of the knowledge and things black people talked about in the 50s and in the 60s was gone. By the time I graduated, that was gone. There was no knowledge by then. It was gone, over with. That's why I'm trying to get more people my age and a little bit older than me need to get on this social media because they the only ones heard certain things. And if people like me, if we don't tell y'all, it's going to be gone. That's why when you terms of history, that's why I'm the king. Because I was here when the black immigrants got here. They didn't get here till the mid to late 70s. They don't know nothing either. Facts. Wasn't no black immigrants here. Wasn't no black immigrants here in the late 60s and early 70s. You don't understand what strategy? Let me take a break and I'll address it. You got to ask me a specific question. That ain't no question. You don't see the strategy. Okay. What you want me to say? You got to say something. Well, I can respond. I can't respond to that. Let me ask you this. How did the GOP take over? That ain't the Democrats' fault. That's not the Democrats' fault. How the GOP took over if the Democrats was doing a good job? Let's take a break.
This is 13 corporations that profited from slavery. So here we go. Number 1, J.P. Morgan Chase. Between 1831 and 1865, 2 predecessor banks, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted approximately 13,000 enslaved individuals as collateral on loans and took ownership of approximately 1,250 of them when the plantation owners defaulted on the loans. Number 2, New York Life, an insurance company, sold insurance policies on enslaved Africans. Number 3, Wachovia.
And so, yeah, the Democrats let a bunch of Venezuelans and stuff come in the country and spend a lot of money. So, yeah, I can understand you don't like the GOP, but that's because you're ignoring the failures. Hey, that's because you're ignoring the failures of the Democrats. The Democrats failed horribly. Biden didn't even know where he was at. He was falling down in everything. The Democratic Party failed. The Democratic Party started to cater to LGBTQ and immigrants. That's why white America turned on. A lot of white Americans was Democrats. A lot of them. There's not enough black people to put nobody in office. There's it's like 350 million Americans. Maybe only like 200 million vote. There's only less than 50 million black Americans, and probably only 30 million of them vote. 30 million black Americans can make no decisions. But the Democratic Party ain't on nothing. The Democratic Party pandered to black people, but helped immigrants and hurt black Americans. That's what they did. They mismanaged the country. They pandered to immigrants. They pandered to gays. How black Americans supposed to feel about the Democratic Party? Now, I love Barack Obama, but he made me support him, and he went and put a gay flag on top of the White House. He put me in a bad situation. Brother, I support you. You married a foundational black American woman, had some children. Cool. But why would you put the gay flag on top of the White House? How'd that look for us? I'm going to just keep it real. That's a slap in the face. Bro, we didn't go vote for you to put no gay flag on top of the White House. You made that your main stance. Barack Obama's main stance was helping gays. What did he post for black people? Nothing. Where my brother at? Let me ask him. Where my man at? What you think? What you think? Hey, SWP, disciple, what you think? Am I off? What you think? It's not like, you know what I'm saying? What you think? Am I off? Barack Obama won. You say, but black man president or billionaires white man with higher gas prices ever. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me ask you something, Lucky. If I get in office, right, and I don't do a good job, and I lose, and somebody get in there and do a bad job, whose fault is it? Right? Right? Lucky. If I get in office, a black man, and I don't do a good job, and a white man get in there and rob you, whose fault is it that the white man's in there robbing? So you're telling me Trump ain't Biden's fault? I'm just asking. It's not Trump. It's not Biden. Biden is the reason Trump is president. Am I right or am I wrong? Lucky. It's not Joe Biden the reason Trump is president. Yes or no? Did Joe Biden do a good job? No, not maybe. Listen, did Biden do a good job? Because Barack Obama lost because he couldn't run no more. So that's irrelevant. He did okay. He was asleep, bro. So you're not being honest. Okay. I thought you was gonna be honest. Let me talk to somebody else. You ain't he ain't being honest. Listen, Obama won twice, right? So he can't run no more. Right? He can't run no more, right? So there's somebody else getting there and do a bad job. So now you want to skip that the rest of the Democrats did a bad job, and then you saying that Obama did a good job. So you said we should vote for some other Democrat that ain't Obama. Bruh, do the Democrats got another Obama? Yes or no? Just a yes. I just want a yes or no. Do the Democrats have another Obama? Yes or no? And then we can move on. Yes or no? Do the Democrats have a Obama? Yes or no? Because you saying we should vote for Democrats. Do they have a Obama to vote for? Yes or no? Yes or no? Because I'm assuming you said we should vote for him. Okay. Do they have an Obama? Because you said Obama was great. Do the Democrats have a Obama? All right. I rest my case. No. So therefore, you don't have no reason why we should vote for them. They don't got another Obama. The Democrats is trash. Okay? So what you're saying is irrelevant because the Democrats is trash. The Democrats ain't trash, bruh. The Democrats now ain't trash. Yes or no? Because you assuming we should vote for the Democrats, not the Republicans. The Democrats ain't trash. The Democrats is trash, bro. I'm just saying. What the hell is he talking about Obama? We talking about today. We talking about vote now. Are the Democrats any good in 2026? They can't run on Obama. They got to run on them. Are they any good? No. Do they have any plans? Are they talking about anything? What are the Democrats talking about they going to do? Nothing. Also, Lucky, you're not reading what I said. It says FBA will flip Republicans or what? Listen. You said we're going to vote Republicans. What do this say? Does this say we're going to vote Republican? Listen, does this say that we're going to vote Republican? What does this say? Lucky, what is the title of this live? Does this live say vote Republican? What does this title say? Lucky, what does the title say? What does the title say that Foundational Black Americans going to do? Does it say they're going to vote Republican? Lucky, is that what this says? Lucky, what does the title say? Because you're taking the Republican part out of my title. I don't like that. You're trying to make it like my title said we're going to vote Republican. That ain't what my title said. No, it doesn't. He says it says vote Republican. Okay, I can't talk to you no more. You ain't honest. Okay. At least I found out you're not honest, because this title clearly say that Black Americans going to vote Republicans or they're not going to vote at all. That's what the title say. That's what the title says. He says it says we're going to vote Republican. Bro, you phony. You ain't honest. I thought you was honest. I can't talk to you no more, okay? Don't troll my chat. I'm gonna have to put you out of here. Once I find out you're not honest, I don't want to talk to you no more. Once I find out you're over here and you're not honest, then your word is no good no more. and you're not honest. Because clearly the title say they're going to vote Republican or they're not going to vote at all, which says they're not going to vote Democrat. This title does not say they're going to vote Republican. This title says Foundation Black Americans are not going to vote Democrat. That's what this title says. Am I lying, y'all? Does this title say we're going to vote Republican? No. This title says we're not going to vote Democrat. That's what this title says. Am I lying? Am I lying? Does this title say we're going to vote Republican? No. This title says we're not going to vote Democrat. That's what this title says for intelligent people. Am I lying? It says we're going to vote Republican or we ain't going to vote at all. That's what it says. It says this title says we're not going to vote Democrat. And we're not. That's what the title says. This title insinuates that we're not going to vote Democrat. It doesn't insinuate who we're going to vote for. What it says, whatever we do, we're absolutely not going to vote Democrat. That's what the title says. That's what the title says. And it's true. We ain't voting. The Democrats is done. Nobody's voting for the Democrats is done. Hey, Gosha, I don't know what's going on with the educational system. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on with the educational system. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But the Democrats, come on, man. They dropped the ball. The Democrats dropped the ball and they haven't restructured. Am I lying? Who believes that the Democrats have restructured and made themselves look appealing? They haven't restructured. The Democrats are trying to win with fear. They're pushing fear over achievements. They're trying to run based on fear of the Republicans. Am I lying? Because one thing about my audience, I'll accept it. You don't have to agree with me, but you just got to be honest with what you're saying. If you're honest and you honestly that, I'm cool with it. But you can't, I'm going to always respond to what you all say, but you can't ignore what I say. So if you say something and I respond to it and I give you a decent answer based on what you type, I feel you owe me the same type of respect I gave you. Now, this person, Lucky Kool-Aid, didn't respect me the way I respected Lucky. I addressed everything Lucky said. He didn't address nothing I said. So he's unlucky, and he's been drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, he's unlucky, and he's been drinking the Kool-Aid. Because Lucky Kool-Aid is diabolical anyway. Because Kool-Aid is poison. Kool-Aid is artificial flavors, artificial color preservatives. So the fact it's Kool-Aid, y'all go subscribe to Vegan Intel so I can get you off artificial flavors, artificial color preservatives. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no desire, but what I think is they don't have no intelligence over there. I think the Democratic Party lacks intelligence. I don't think they have any leadership in the Democratic Party. I think the Democratic Party made a mistake and built their party off of being anti-Republican. And that's a bad mistake. Because you can't win no election being anti. You can only win an election by being pro something, and people like what you're pro at. They don't want to know what you hate. They want to know what you're going to bring to the table. And the Democratic Party have been pushing what they don't like. And they're not pushing what they like. If you watch Roland Martin, he never says nothing that the Democrats are going to do. His whole conversation is Republicans ain't this, the Republicans ain't that, Republicans not this, the Republicans not that. You're not going to win like that. You're not. How you going to win saying the other guy's no good, the other guy's no good, the other guy's no good, the other guy's no good? And vote for me. Why? Because the other guy's no good. That's the Democrats. Am I lying? The Democrats is like, vote for us because the other guy's no good. That's the Democrat strategy. Unless I'm crazy. Am I crazy? I'm willing to admit it. I'm crazy. Am I just making something up? Am I just making this? Am I off? Am I missing something? The Democrats' whole campaign is the Republicans are horrible. Seriously, that's their whole campaign. Yeah, y'all, we need more likes. Why we don't got more likes? We got all these people watching, and where the likes at? I don't know. And so the brothers and sisters in Chicago, they sick of it. They finna flip red. Man, they finna flip red in Chicago. I didn't tell them to flip red. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling y'all what's going on. That's all. That's all I'm doing. I'm just a messenger. That's all. I didn't tell them to flip red. I'm going to try to interview a couple of them. And so they can tell me why. I already know why, though. I already know why they want to flip red. Because the Democrats ain't on nothing. The Democrats ain't on nothing. I'm trying to tell you, they not saying nothing. I never seen. Hey, they like an NBA team, right? That just play defense. They'll never shoot. They like an NBA. The Democrats like an NBA team. All the coach tell them, listen, don't shoot. Just try to block their shots. That's the Democrats. I swear to God. That's the Democrats. That's the Democrats. Just block their shots. But don't shoot. When you the Democrats like a basketball team, they go to practice and all they practice is defense. Oh God. The Democrats is like a basketball team or a football team. And when they go to practice, they are football. Hey, I got a better one, Aunt. The Democrats like a football team, and when they go to practice, the coach say that the offense can stay home. Right? That's even better. The Democrats, it's like a football team. And when they go to practice, only the coach say, only the defense come. The offense, the offense stay home. The offense stay home. You say, what is FBA going to get from Republicans? Once again, for the slow people in the back. This says, for you, info love, this says that FBA will flip Republican or not vote at all. This does not say that the FBA is going to vote for Republicans. It says the FBA is not interested in the Democrats. That the FBA is not going to vote Democratic. Now, you could be mad. Let me ask you something, info love. Am I lying? Are Black Americans going to vote Democrat? Yes or no? Info love. Are Black Americans going to come out and vote for the Democratic Party? Yes or no? Not what I think. What's going to happen? Are Black Americans enthusiastic about the Democratic Party? Yes or no? On their own, not with me. Info love. Are Black Americans, not me, enthusiastic about the Democratic Party? Yes or no? What you think? What you think? Not what you believe. Let me tell you, what do you think is really going on? Not what you believe. Not who you believe should win. I'm talking about, let's talk facts. Do you think the Black Americans are enthusiastic about the Democratic Party? Yes or no? Info love. Just give me a yes or a no. If you don't give me a yes or no, I can't talk to you no more. Because that means you're playing. Exactly. So how you mad at me? Because I'm saying the facts. I'm stating the facts. I'm just stating the facts. I'm not promoting nothing. The Democratic Party ain't doing nothing, bro. They not enthused. They not what? They've got no plan. They ain't offering nothing. Who gonna vote for you when you can't win just saying, we hate the Republicans and we're running because the Republicans are no good. The Republicans ain't doing nothing. Republicans ain't this. Republicans ain't that. The Republicans is horrible, right? It don't matter if you can't get the vote. That's why I keep trying to tell you, it don't matter what they're going to do. If there ain't nobody going to vote for you. That's why I'm trying to tell you, that don't matter. It don't matter. Nobody's going to vote for the Democrats out of fear of the Republicans. They not going to get no votes like that. Y'all need to be scared of the Republicans, so vote for us. That's not going to work. People going to be like, what you going to bring to the table? We ain't going to bring nothing to the table. Just don't. They're going to mess y'all up. That's the Democrats. We ain't got to bring nothing to the table. They going to mess y'all up. Don't vote for them. What y'all going to bring to the table? The same thing Biden brought to the table. Nothing. Because the last Democrat, what he bring to the table? Let's talk facts. The Democrats was the last president. How good did they do? How good was the last Democratic president? The Democrats gonna lose because they got let a bunch of immigrants in. They ain't standing on nothing. They ain't doing nothing. And honestly, if Republicans is gonna get the immigrants the hell out of here, that's gonna help Black Americans. That's worth a vote. I never have voted for a Republican in my life and I've only voted for black people, but I definitely would vote for a white Republican for the first time in my life if we get the immigrants the hell out of here. Because the immigrants is in my way. The immigrants is ruining everything for black America. Get them the hell out of here. Whoever, if we take a Republican, gonna get these immigrants out of here, then I'll vote Republican too. I ain't never did that. But the immigrants gotta go. They're not good for me. They're not good for my children. They're not good for America because you're bringing in a bunch of people before you take care of your own people. Bringing in immigrants is like a mother got 3 kids and she bring 5 more kids in, and the 5 kids eat up all the food, and the 3 kids that she had don't get no food. That's how immigration is working in America. You're bringing in immigrants before you're taking care of the people that built the country and people that been here. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. And the Democrats look like traitor rats that are destroying the country because they're bringing in a bunch of people. They don't have to become citizens. They want the United States citizens to learn Spanish to get a goddamn job in an English-speaking country. The Democrats suck because there's no way that I've been here all these generations, got to learn Spanish in an English-speaking country. Now, let's keep it real. Under the Democratic Party, when my children go to get a job, they got to know how to speak Spanish in an English-speaking country. For some people that don't belong here, because if you don't want to learn English, then stay where you at. How do you come to a country traditionally, when you come to a country, to get your citizenship, you have to learn English. That's why they have classes to get your citizenship. How the hell you a citizen? How you get citizenship? You can't speak a lick of English. But my kids got to take English classes. Hold on. Hold on. Boy, you know I'm the realest alive. Look at this. Look at what I had to do when I went to school. American students are generally required to take 4 years of English during high school, translating to 4 distinct full-year classes. That's a damn lie. We take English we learn English from kindergarten. That's a lie. Look, they're going to start in middle school. Boy, you learn English, A, B, C, D. That's English. This is a lie. Look, I had English in grade school. Look, they trying to say we don't have to take English till 6th grade. So how we know how to talk then? How we learn how to talk then in the 3rd grade? Boy, I'm telling you, even the internet is stupid. Even the internet is dumb. Will I support her? I don't know. I'm going to try to interview her. I don't know. I'm going to try to interview her. I might. It's a high possibility. Watch this. Look, it says start in the 8th grade. Look, even Google is stupid. Look, remember Google said we started taking it in middle school? Now look, even Google is stupid. Look, so I asked it, do American students take English in grade school? Look, yes. Look, it didn't say that. Look, elementary school focuses on building blocks of communication. Students learn the alphabet, phonics, basic spelling. Look. Last time it said it didn't start till middle school. Am I lying? Am I lying? Didn't the last time it say middle school? You see this? Y'all see this? Didn't it just say middle school? Do y'all see this? Didn't it just say we start English in middle school? Now it's saying yes, we start in grade school from kindergarten to 5th grade. Even the internet be lying. Even the internet be lying. Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Boy, I'm telling you. Boy, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Did y'all see that? The first time I asked it, it said you start in middle school. So I said, I asked it again, do American students have to take English in grade school? Yeah, from kindergarten. Wait a minute. Y'all just told me not till middle school. There's no such thing as Republican as MAGA. It is what it is. Let me ask you a question. Can the Democrats beat them? Yes or no? Do the Democrats to you have any plan that's going to help them beat MAGA? Yes or no? Yes or no? I like to get to the facts. All that biggity, I'm not with that. Do the Democrats have any plan to beat MAGA? Yes or no? You mature to done, right? Yes or no? Because I'm just talking about the facts. I don't talk about make believe. I don't want to do make believe. We talk about can the Democrats win though? Yes or no? What you think? Are the Democrats presenting anything to beat MAGA? Yes or no? We can call it MAGA. Mature. Do the Democrats have they showed you anything where they're gonna beat MAGA? Yes or no? Mature to die. Because I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Y'all trying to argue over the Republicans winning because y'all don't want to face the fact that the Democrats losing. We talking about two different things. Y'all talking about the Republicans winning. I'm talking about the Democrats ain't bringing nothing to the table. And none of these people that hate the Republicans is being honest. The Democrats ain't bringing nothing to the table, though. Look. You see, they just ignore. Look, here you go another one. Here go another one. He don't never address the GOP is actually trying to erase black vote. Look, he said Biden did a good job. Hell no. He said Sleepy Joe did a good job. He could only come out from 10 to 2 when he had to go to bed. Unbelievable. Crazy. Nobody answered my question, though. Nobody answered my question. He said Biden did a good job. Ask y'all a simple question. Are the Democrats going to win? Ask you a simple question. You ain't answered my question. To you, forget about me. To you, do the Democrats have what it takes to beat MAGA? That's a yes or a no. Info Love. He says yes. He said yeah. He said the Democrats got stuff to beat MAGA. What stuff? I don't know. The Democrats don't even got a candidate worth a damn. Who the hell gonna run for the Democrats? Whatever. I don't see them having no candidate. I don't see it. I see the Dems gonna go to Africa for some type of reparation. I don't see the Democrats doing nothing. Maybe you see something I don't see. Hey, I don't know. Maybe they see something I don't see. The Democrats, to me, all I see is anti-Republican. That's all. They like a lot of these people that's over here. If you look at most of these people that's going to support the Democrats over here, their whole campaign is anti-Republican. They don't got none of them has presented anything beneficial from the Democrats other than stop MAGA. They proving my point. All the people that's over here that don't like what I'm saying, they proving my point because they can't tell you one thing that the Democrat bringing to the table. That one, they proving it. All of them is proving it. That the Democrats think they're going to win hating on MAGA. That's their campaign. We ain't going to do shit, but we better than MAGA. That's their whole campaign. The Democrats' whole campaign is don't vote for MAGA. That's their whole campaign. That's their whole campaign. That's their whole campaign. Crazy. That's their whole campaign. If you ask somebody, what are the Democrats promising during the midterms? Nothing. To stop MAGA. They ain't gonna stop the Venezuelans. They ain't gonna stop the immigrants, but they gonna stop MAGA. Man, MAGA or the immigrants? I'll take MAGA. Yeah, MAGA or the immigrants. The Democrats offering more immigrants. The Republicans say they're gonna throw the immigrants out. Okay, throw the immigrants out. Let's go that route. Now, I can't trust some of these people because they might be immigrants, right? They might be the ones got to get thrown out, right? They might got to get thrown out. The strategy of non-vote on principles only work if there's an equivalent. But I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't read all that. You never answered my question. I gotta let you go. Yeah. I'm not gonna waste my time. If you an immigrant, you might be a Haitian or somebody. You might be a tether. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You might be scared. You might be scared the Republicans gonna throw you out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You got some reason you scared of MAGA. You scared of MAGA for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is the Democrats ain't finna win. Only way the Democrats can win if the war go really bad in Iran and if the U.S. economy just super duper tank, then the Democrats will win. They can win. They can win, but they can only win if the Republicans mess up. They can't win on their own because they ain't got nothing. The only way they can win is if the other side mess up because they ain't on nothing. So they can only win if they see they messed up. They can win like that. That's the only way they can win. But if the Republicans mess up, that don't mean the Democrats going to do nothing. That's for sure. Because that's their whole campaign. That done played out. That done played out. Don't vote for them and we ain't going to do nothing. That done played out. And that's the Democrats' whole strategy. Don't vote for them. They messing everything up. Well, what y'all going to do? We ain't going to do nothing. We just going to make sure you don't vote for them. That's the Democrats. That's the Democrats. The Democrats says, we ain't got to do nothing. Just stop them. That's the Democrats. That's their whole campaign. That's their whole campaign. Democrats often struggle with public perception on this issue, with swing and working class voters frequently favoring the Republican Party's approach to border security and controlling illegal immigration. Definitely, we don't want no Democrats in there because the Democrats is going to fill the country full of immigrants that are going to take jobs and ruin the country. Facts. The Democrats are going to fill the country with a bunch of people that they can pay low wages. They don't have to speak no English, and give them all the money necessary for American communities. Just like what happened in Chicago when all the Venezuelans came here and all that money went to help them Venezuelans, while people that Chicago citizens suffered under Biden. Come on, Biden did a good job, and 15 billion Venezuelans came up here. I ain't even say nothing. 15 billion Venezuelans came and took tax dollars from United States citizens, and somebody came over here talking about Biden did a good job. I ain't even say nothing. I said, boy, if you don't shut up, how you did a good job when you let people invade the border, and now that you beefing with Iran, a whole bunch of Iranians here threatening because you done let all type of terrorists and stuff cross the border too. Only a fool think only Venezuelans came across. Anybody could have came across under Biden's Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe let anybody come in this country. We don't even know who he is. They said when the Chinese ran across the border, they disappeared. They don't even know where they at. They said some Chinese, they caught crossing the border, they had $8,000 to $12,000 to $20,000 in their pocket. And they said when the Chinese got across the border, they disappeared under Biden. Under Biden, we don't even know who in the country. I could help the Democrats with their campaign. That campaign easy. I could help the Democrats. I know their whole campaign. Here go their whole campaign. It's a Democratic campaign. Yeah, this is a Democrat. This is a Democrat whole strategy. This their campaign. Are you gonna fix the schools? No. Are you gonna stop the illegal immigrants? No. Just don't vote for MAGA. That's their whole campaign. They ain't gonna do nothing. Just stop MAGA. This the Democrats. This their campaign right here, in a nutshell. This is the Democrat campaign. This their whole campaign. No jobs, nothing. They whole campaign is don't vote for MAGA. Are y'all gonna do nothing? Something? No, we ain't gonna do nothing. But don't vote for them. The Democrats suck. I swear to God. They are the worst. They ain't got a chance in hell. Ain't nobody gonna go to the polls for them. Nobody going to vote for them. You got to motivate people to vote. People don't understand. People vote based on what they're gonna get. And the Democrats ain't offering nothing. Only a few people gonna vote politically. To get the rest of the citizens out, they gotta see a win. They gotta think life's gonna get better. The Democrats have no campaign still today. These Democrat supporters over here lying. They know I'm telling the truth. Right? The Democrats have no campaign. None. Zero. They know it, but you know how people are. They know I ain't lying. The Democrats have no campaign. It's almost time for the midterms. What is the Democrats' campaign? They don't have one. What are they known for? Nothing. They're known for stop the Republicans. That's it. They're not talking about helping the farmers. They're not talking about education. They're not talking about helping foundational Black Americans. They're not talking about helping the cities. They're not talking about doing nothing for failing businesses all across the country, nothing. All they talk about is Trump is no good. Trump is doing this wrong. Trump is doing that, like Jasmine Crockett. She ain't known for nothing. She need to go sit her ass down somewhere. All she known for is talking about how the Republicans ain't no good. She not known for nothing but beefing with the Republicans. She need to go sit down. She ain't know nothing. I talked to her face. I talked to her face. First off, you ain't know nothing. Second, you too ghetto acting to be a politician. Don't nobody want you in there like this. Jasmine. Nobody wants this in office. Sit your goofy ass down somewhere. You ain't even professional. Girl, where you think you at the beauty shop? She's horrible. Jasmine Crockett is up in there with that ghetto. Up in there with that ghetto swag. Hey, Jasmine. Ain't no Black man gonna vote for you because we sure don't want no wife like that. See, Jasmine run away the Black male vote because we divorced Keisha for that. You know what I'm saying? We divorced Sharon and Keisha for that. Okay? See, we was married to a Jasmine or we dated a Jasmine. So the idea of baby girl being a politician is, I speak for a lot of black men. Oh, it's definitely a no. No, we don't even want to date you. We wouldn't marry you. We wouldn't date you, and we would not vote for you. Okay? That's why we never seen her husband. Who's her husband? Who married to, let me see. You know, Big Pharaoh is Jasmine Crockett married. The Texas Congresswoman has never been married and does not have children. She has shared that her intense public schedule and the unique demands serving Congress makes dating challenging. No, she ain't never been. That ain't what make dating challenging. This is what make dating challenging. All this extra stuff, girl. You know what I'm saying? She said, look, listen, she ain't got no husband. She ain't been married. What part you don't understand? She ain't been married. She have not been married. Okay, hold on. Let me show everybody. The Texas Congresswoman has never been married and does not have children. In interviews, she has shared that her intense public schedule and her unique demands for serving Congress make dating challenging. That's what she said. I'm just saying. I wouldn't vote for her to go on no date. Would you date her? No, hell no. I won't be bothered with all that. That's too much. Our date would go like this. I'll marry you, but you got to sit down and shut up. You can't do all that. Okay? Yeah. Because I'm dating Sheila. Sheila don't do all that. Now, Sheila got you beat so far. Yeah, we're not doing all this. I don't want that kind of wife. I would marry her. To me, she's a bad example for a black woman politician. In there hollering and arguing all the time. She ain't never got nothing. She'll never bring nothing to the table but argue with Republicans. What she bring to the table? Nothing. I ain't never seen her talk about doing nothing. Jasmine, do you plan to do anything? I'm on these Republicans' neck, though. You know, basically. That's what yeah, hecky now. Girl, if you listen, have a whole seat. They redistricted her ass. Listen, draw her out the map. Oh, God. Now, girl, sit down. Sit down with all that ghetto. Sit down with all that. Ain't no black man gonna vote for her. I'm gonna keep it real. Some tenders will vote for her. Some tender D's will vote for her. But the rest of us, no. She reminds us of bad things. I speak for a lot of black men when I say Jasmine reminds us of bad experiences. I dated a few Jasmines. I dated a few Jasmines. No, nope, no, 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 no. Girl, go sit down. And then all these black women being politicians, undermining the black man. I ain't with that either. You don't see no whole lot of white women dominating white male politicians, but black male politicians, you see they let the black women be dominating us. Why is she the face of black politics? Every time it's black politics, it's a black woman or a real soft black man. I ain't gonna say no names, but they got a brother right now. He be trying to look hard, but he's soft like Sherman tissue. And he always be speaking for us all soft and shit. The Democrats ain't gonna win nothing. Ain't nobody gonna go vote. Who gonna get up? Let me tell y'all something. I keep it real. Let's keep it real. This how it go. You be at the crib, right? Boom, election day. Let's say election day on a Tuesday. You get up Tuesday morning, right? Now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you got stuff to do. So when you get up Tuesday, you got stuff to do, right? The polls over there, you got to stand in line. So you get up, they telling you to go vote. You're thinking. Now, I speak for a lot of Americans. Unless you really can stimulate us and got something, we don't want to go stand in that line. Nobody want to talk about that. We don't want to stand in that line. And people like us in Chicago, we stand in line for Brandon Johnson. He get in there, don't do nothing. Help a whole bunch of immigrants. We stand in that line, right? What you talking about? I don't understand your question. I don't understand your question. Your question don't make no sense. Let me ask you a question. Is it the politician's job to inspire people to vote? Yes or no? Because I deal with you all the time. You never answer questions. I might have to block you again today. Simple question. Whose responsibility is it to encourage voters to vote for them? Is that the politician's job? Yes or no? Is it the politician's job to inspire people to vote for them? Yes or no? Simple. Idea. Nothing else to talk about. Let me delete all this other nonsense. So if they can't get nobody to vote for them, that's their fault. Simple like that. It ain't our job to just go vote for you. It ain't our job to think you're gonna help us. You gotta show us you're gonna help us. So you're like, what's the benefit of not voting? What's the benefit of voting if you don't show us no benefit in the voting? And people like you ain't honest. The politician got to show us the benefit from voting. You keep talking about what's the benefit from not voting. Well, when you running, that's your job to show me the benefit. Because I'm not voting. I'm voting for you. It's not just voting. I'm voting for you. And you have to encourage me to vote for you. You can't tell me I need to vote because it benefits, but you don't never mention none of the benefits. That's like dating a woman. And she say, going out with me is a benefit, but she never tell you how. Don't she got to explain to you what she got to offer? Or can she say, I got a lot to offer? I don't be answering. I'm not answering none of your questions. Leave me alone. I'm not answering none of your questions. You a troll. I'm not answering your questions. I don't owe you no answer for nothing. I already made my point. That's it. Don't question me. Go question your children. Don't question me. A lot of these questions, I'm not dealing with them because the questions don't be from the heart, and I'm not mustard, so I'm not finna play catch up. So don't be like, well, what about this? But what about that? But what about this? But what about? I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing none of that. Ain't nobody voting for the Democrats unless the Democrats put something on the table. That's cut and dry. That's not debatable. If they want the votes, they're going to have to put something on the table, period. That's not debatable. And one of the problems is you want to debate me, but you ain't going to say nothing to the candidate. This is a problem. Listen, I can get on here and everybody challenge me, but when somebody run for office, when a Democrat run in office, they going to challenge them? No. They ain't going nowhere and ask no question and challenge the Democratic candidate. They're going to challenge me on YouTube. But the person that actually you depended on, do they challenge them? No. They let them walk in there with no pressure. So you think you're going to pressure me? No. Shut up talking to me the same way you don't talk to the politicians that run for office. Don't try to drill me, but let somebody mosey their ass in office and you don't drill them. That's phony. Listen, you have these black dudes on social media that'll drill you a politician, but when the politicians start running, put it in the chat. Do they drill the politicians? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. People that'll drill me over this, are they going to say anything to the politicians, though? Yes or no? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. I'm going to put my answer in the chat. Man, they not going to say nothing to the politicians. Not a word. They'll ask me 1,000 questions. What about this? What about that? What about this? When the politician run, they ain't going to ask them nothing. They ain't going to ask them nothing. How realistic is that? That's one of the reasons the politicians run over us. And then these internet trolls with these fake names, we don't even know who they are. See? I said yes or no. Look. No answer. See what I'm saying? So you can't trust people like this. Like, this person ain't stand up, right? I'm going to show y'all some on social media. People like this are the worst. Because everything I ask, they never respond. I don't like talk. I don't want to talk to you no more. If you don't want to talk to me when I say something, don't expect me to talk to you when you say something. Info love. If I ask a question and you don't answer it, don't ask me nothing, okay? Listen, if I ask a question and you don't answer it, don't ask me nothing. It goes both ways. It can't go one way where you ignore my questions and want me to answer yours. Because you got no info and I got no love for you. Don't stop playing with me. You phony. Info love. You are phony. You are a phony. Because you don't answer no questions and you just ask questions. You are a phony. When I be in a situation around you, people like you, I walk away. I would never debate you or talk to you. Never in my life. Because you're a phony. You'll ask me something, I'll answer it. I ask you something, you ask me something. Every time I ask you something, you ask me something. When you ask me something, I answer it. Every time I ask you something, you don't answer. You ask me something. I don't talk to people like you in real life, Info Love. I wouldn't spend 2 seconds around you. Not 2 seconds. Because you're a phony. You're not a decent person to have an open discussion. So I wouldn't vote for you either. I wouldn't vote for you, Info Love. You'd be a horrible politician. So it's funny you over here talking about who to vote for when you the last person anybody should vote for. Because when the people ask you something, you ain't going to answer your constituents. So I wouldn't vote for you. I would not vote for you. You, Info Love. I would not vote for you. So you can't speak on who to vote for because you ain't no example of nobody that anybody should vote for. I would make a better president than you would ever make because I would answer the question. But I wouldn't talk to nobody like you that want me to keep answering questions, like this a game or something. But you don't never answer nothing. Really, outside, it'll go, bruh, I know you don't be talking to no real people because nobody wouldn't play with you like that in the real world. Ain't nobody gonna let you drill them like that and don't answer no questions. I don't know where you live at. And that's why some of y'all be over here with these fake names, because you can hide behind a fake name and then you don't got to be real. But you can't come over here and see my real face and my real name and have fake names and play with me and hide behind a fake name and play with me like that. Because you ain't standing on nothing like Big Pharaoh. I'm standing on my real face and my real beliefs. And you hiding anyway. You ain't really your name Info Love. You ain't standing on no truth. Your social media presence ain't even the truth. There's no such person as Info Love. To be honest with you, you not stand up like that. I'm not arguing with no miscellaneous. You might be some Asian and be king. I don't even know where you at or who you is. I'll be over here arguing with some Pakistani somewhere. The internet, if you're a content creator, you gotta watch some of these people in the chat. Because they'll have you arguing about something that they ain't even got nothing to do with. He might not even be a U.S. citizen or could vote or nothing. And to be here with you arguing about the election and ain't even no citizen. Ain't gonna vote or nothing. Might be in Peking somewhere or Zimbabwe arguing with you about an election. I'm telling you. You don't even know who that is. They'll argue with you all day just to be arguing. Ain't gonna vote. Don't think about politics at all in real life. Because you got people just want to prove you wrong. That's it. If you're a content creator, you got to look out for people that just want to prove you wrong, but you don't know, you can't verify if they standing on something. But you can't tell if they hiding with a fake identity, they ain't got no real picture. Then you're not real. You ain't talking about nothing real. You was miscellaneous. How long you want me to go around back and forth with a miscellaneous? Bro, get your ass out of here. I'm supposed to believe Info Love? Really? Really? I'm supposed to believe Info Love? I'm supposed to believe what you say? Info Love? Really? Bruh. I don't mind y'all having fake names, but don't try to stand on nothing with it. Just chill. The same way your name is, your identity is chill, then you chill. Don't be having no fake identity and try to talk real. That ain't gonna get it. If you want to be bootleg, then stay bootleg. Don't try to talk to a real one when you are nobody. You was a miscellaneous person. What a real person with their real face look like debating somebody with a fake name and you don't know who the hell it is. You really think I'm gonna debate you? I don't know who the hell you is. Now I will, as long as you're addressing the conversation, but if you bouncing all around and you ain't a real person, But I'm not wasting my time talking to you. You want a bunch of attention, go outside and get attention where they know who you is. And get off this internet looking for fake attention. Facts. That's why I'm not super popular on the internet, because the bootleg internet people don't like me. So they be logging off. Because the internet got a lot of trolls and a lot of fake people that jump in conversations. Their heart don't be in the conversation. Your heart will be in it, and their heart ain't in the conversation. They just playing. I'm really talking about this for real, because there's people in Chicago that want to flip red. They sick of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is losing foundational Black Americans. Facts. And people say, well, what do the Republicans got to offer? It don't matter if you ain't offering nothing. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. If the Republicans ain't offering nothing, nobody's going to vote for you if you're not offering nothing, especially a race of people that have been voting for you ever since they've been in this country. Foundational Black Americans is sick of the Democrats. The Democrats have mistreated us. The Democrats used us before they had enough Hispanics to vote for them. And then the Democrats worked to bring in a bunch of immigrants, and now they leaning towards the immigrant vote, right? And throwing us to the curb. That's what's really going on. They try to throw us to the curb, but we built everything they standing on. And then many of these immigrants, especially Hispanic immigrants, who was Black Americans, Foundation Black Americans stood up for them. But once they got their numbers up, they turned on us. Look at LA with the Mexicans. I was in LA, 1982, 83, 84, all through the 80s. The Foundation of Black Americans was standing up for the Mexicans. We were talking that black and brown love. And once so many Mexicans got there, they started firebombing the black houses. They started attacking Black Americans in Compton. They was going to war with Black Americans as soon as they got their numbers up. And right now, overall, Mexicans in LA is the enemy. The same ones we stood up for back under Reagan and Bush. Haitians. We stood up for Haitians. Haitians ain't no ally of us. When the boat people was coming in, all of these immigrants, when they come here, foundational Black Americans have been standing up for them. As soon as they got their legs under them, they kicked us to the curb. Africans. Africans played on the term African Americans and roots and all that. And once so many Nigerians and them got over there here, then we was a kata. Jamaicans, yeah, Bridget, reggae, ah, ah, ah. But next thing you know, we was Yankees. They all used us. The Jamaicans used us, the Africans used us, the Mexicans used us. The Haitians used us. They all used us to help them get over here. And then when they got over here, they turned on us. They turned on us. I'm not going to keep arguing with you because the things say or not vote at all. So stop asking me about voting for the Republicans when the title say FBA will flip Republican or not vote at all. So if you leave out the not vote at all, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you because nothing about this title say vote Republican. This title say we not going to vote Democrat. This title does not say we're going to vote Republican. This title say we're going to either vote Republican or not at all. And don't argue. If you leave out the not at all, I don't want to talk to you. Y'all see how many people come over here and keep talking about we're gonna vote Republican when the title say we not gonna vote at all? I don't want to talk to you if you don't read the whole title. This title does not say vote Republican. This title say we're not going to vote Democrat. And there's a difference between not voting Democrat and voting Republican. This title does not say vote Republican. This title say we are not voting Democrat, and we are not going to vote Democrat. Most of us ain't going to vote at all. Period. We're not voting for the Democrats. Ain't no need to keep arguing me with that. The Democrats are not going to get the foundational Black American vote. They're not going to get it. Not because I said it. So I don't need to argue with me. Everybody knows this. I don't know why you argue with me for something that's, I'm telling you the facts. Come in and chat. Let me know. Are foundational Black Americans going to vote Democrat? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Are the Democrats going to get a lot of foundational Black American vote? Put it in the chat. Yes or no? Don't talk about what I'm saying. Let's talk about the facts. Because I got people arguing with me like I'm the one that's deciding. That's why I don't want to talk to none of y'all that want to argue. Because you're slow. Because I got nothing to do with it. So ain't no need in arguing with me. I'm telling you what the streets is saying. Foundational Black Americans are not going to vote for the Democrats. And it ain't nothing I could do about it. So argue with me, what purpose that serve? I'm just the messenger. So why would you want to debate me as if I change what I say is going to make a difference? That's not going to make no difference. If I tell foundational Black Americans to vote for the Democrats, they'll dump me too. They'll dump me. Foundational Black Americans will log off. Tell me I'm lying. They'll be like, what the hell is he talking about? Get him the hell out of here. So imagine you telling me, don't say what I'm saying, when what I'm saying is the truth. What I'm saying ain't debatable. These are the facts. So why you want to debate me over the facts? But this, but that. Okay, go tell Black people. Go tell FBA. What you telling me for? I'm not FBA. I'm just Pharaoh. I'm a FBA, but I'm not FBA. But I can tell you, I'm not voting for no Democrat. Period. None. And it ain't no Democrat can talk no half reparations and get my vote. We're not doing that either. I'm not voting for no Democrat talking reparations and getting there and talking about we're going to have a study. We're going to have a study. Because that's all they're going to do. What do the Democrat Blacks do when they talk about reparations? They have a study. And they give all the money, they give a lot of money to their Democrat friends to have the study. They give them thousands of dollars, $50,000, $100,000 to have a study. Y'all know I ain't lying. I posted it all. I posted it. Go follow Pay Blacks. Go follow Pay Black Americans. Go follow me on social media at Pay Blacks, and you will see I posted all the reparation news, and it's all studies. It's all studies. We're going to study it. We're going to study it. We're going to study it. We never asked you to study reparations. We asked you for reparations. They trick us to vote for them, and then they have us study. You know I'm not lying. And the study, they give all the money to their friends to study it. And they get good money to pay their bills studying it. And what do we get? Nothing. None of the studies, the only people that studied and did something was Evanston that I know of. Evanston actually came up with something. The rest of these cities, they studied it in Chicago. What happened? What was the results of the study? What's the results of the studies in California? What's the results of the studies in New York? What's the results of the studies in Ohio? The studies, all these studies, what was the results of the studies? All them hundreds of thousands, probably millions of dollars went to studies. Y'all know I ain't lying. The Democratic Party is done. It's over for them. The Democratic Party thought they could switch over to the Hispanic vote and throw our vote in the garbage. And everybody know I ain't lying. The Democratic Party helped a bunch of Hispanics come up here and Asians so that they can get that vote so they wouldn't have to do nothing for us. And everybody know that's the truth. That was the plan, to replace us so they can get their vote somewhere else so they didn't have to do nothing for us. Everybody know that's the truth. If you don't come over here and say that's the truth, well, I won't talk to you. The truth ain't even in you. I'm not debating you over and over again over what's facts. The facts is the Democratic Party tried to replace us with Asians and Hispanics. That's the facts. So they wouldn't have to do nothing for us. That's a fact. And a lot of foundational Black Americans believe the Republicans will do more for us than the Democrats. Because if the Republicans get rid of DEI, but then there's more jobs for us, how we lose. So they keep saying Republicans get rid of DEI. If Republicans get rid of DEI, but get rid of a bunch of immigrants, there's still going to be more jobs for us. There's going to be more jobs for us getting rid of immigrants than DEI could ever provide. Because DEI end up being for immigrants. Listen, you see how many Black people tried to pretend that getting rid of DEI was helping us? But DEI was helping immigrants more than Black Americans. Facts. That's a fact. Right? Come back tomorrow, bro. DEI wasn't even for us. DEI wasn't for us. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm going to show you. You know who DI is for? You know what the Democrats DEI is for? This is who DEI is for. This is what the Democrats. There go Harris right there. This who the Democrats want to help. It's one black girl standing behind Harris, got her in the back. She's short too. Should have put this taller lady in the back and had the short black sister right next to Harris so you could see her. But look how the picture lined up. They didn't put this short girl right here, 3 from your right. They didn't put her in the back. But look at the sister between Harris and the lady on the other side. Look. Let this big old lady block her, put the black chick in the back. Look, it's one black person. How many Asians in the picture? How many Hispanics in the picture? One black person. This is DEI. That's why a lot of people didn't like Harris. That's why I said I only was pushing her for as a woman. I wasn't pushing her as no president because she an immigrant. Her mama's an immigrant. Her daddy's an immigrant. And she gonna look out for immigrants before she look out for us. Nah, we ain't vote for no Democrats, bro. It ain't happening. Man, we done with them. Either it's a no vote or Republican. You was a GMBOC. You was 100% correct. It's either Republican or no vote. Bro, this is where black people at. A lot of people over here mad at me. But I'm speaking for black Americans, foundational black Americans. It's either a no vote or Republican. We gonna flip Republican or we ain't gonna vote at all. And she look Hispanic too, a little bit. She don't look beautiful like you do. She need. She ain't no real popping it how you looking beautiful with your pretty self. Yeah, she don't look like you. That's for sure. She ain't popping like that. You already know. Hey, you already know which one of y'all I'll pick. You already know what Big Pharaoh how I'm going. I'm going for the Black Beauty. You know where I'm going with your extra pretty self. You already know how we going. But yeah, we do got to figure her out back there. We got to figure out she probably mixed. But look at this picture. This is a disgrace. She just let you know who she was going to help. I campaigned for her. But I just did that for my daughters. I just wanted to push a female. But I really didn't have a whole lot of faith in her as far as black. That's why I only pushed her as a female. Because I already knew she wasn't black like that. She wasn't going to stand on that black. She wasn't going to stand on nothing black. But that was the last straw. And so, that was the last attempt to even look at the Harris. Historically, it's going to go down that Harris was the end of the Democratic Party. That was the last attempt for the Democrats because her running behind Biden is that's it. The Democratic Party is done. And I don't think she did a good job running. But I had already started campaigning. But I thought she did a horrible job campaigning. I thought she shouldn't have even ran at the last minute. I think they played Harris like a sucker. Because she shouldn't have ran till this time. She shouldn't have let Biden block all that time. And then they forced him to step down. And she jumped out there at the last minute like that and messed up her political career. She should have refused. The only way she should have ran is if he stepped down as president and let her be president. She should have not let his crazy ass that wasn't do nothing stay in the presidency and have her run while he was still the president. Because he stayed in the presidency so he could pardon his crooked son that should have went to prison. And she helped out. She shouldn't have did that. She should have said, no, I'm not going to run. You say I sound Republican. That's because you slow. I sound Republican because you can't read. That's all. You can't read. Because they say FBA will flip Republican or not vote at all. You can't read. That's why. That's why I sound Republican, because you slow. Basically. I'll unblock you. I'll unblock you in a couple of days. Go sit down somewhere. Get your mind together. I'll come back and unblock you later. But you can't come over here trolling and you slow. You slow. I ain't got info love. I don't be wasting time. I don't waste no time with no trolls, bro. Get you a life. Stop trolling on this internet. You know what I'm saying? I don't be dealing with trolls. I don't be dealing with nobody that's doing stuff on the internet they ain't gonna do in real life. If you ain't really got the kahunas to talk crazy in real life, then don't get on the internet. Don't get on the internet talking crazy. But then on the street you're gonna start copping pleas. I'm just saying. Address me the same way you're gonna address me face to face on the streets. You know all that yapping. You know how that goes. Everybody ain't gonna yap back. Everybody not gonna yap with you out here. Well, I'm in the rack. All that internet yapping. I don't be respect. I already know you soft if you're on the internet barking. I already know you a Chihuahua poodle. I ain't doing all that. I don't be on the internet barking, doing fake barking in Chicago. All that. Trying to type like you got bass in your voice. Typing ain't even bass. How you gonna type? How you gonna be hardcore typist? Damn Twitter fingers. Oh, disrespectful on the internet where you can hide with the fake names and all that. Boy, I'm not doing all that. These are the facts. The Democratic Party not getting no votes at the midterms, and they not getting no votes for the presidential election. Now, the Democratic Party, they're going to have to sit down and figure out what they're going to do. All of they talking heads, they're going to have to sit down and figure. Roland Martin, he going to have to regroup, and he going to have to get some talking points. Because the stuff they've been talking, it's just not going to work no more. They're not going to get our vote by talking about how bad the Republicans are. They're going to have to put something on the table. And the Democrats been getting away with just talking against the Republicans. We ain't gonna do nothing, but you can't let the Republicans win. We ain't gonna do nothing, but you can't let the Republican win. That's not gonna work no more. That's over. You're gonna have to put something on the table. And like I said, people in Chicago, they saying they flipping red. That's what the brothers and sisters is saying. That's what they saying in Chicago. Now I'm gonna try to interview one of these people. I'm gonna have them come over and let them express why. And I'm just gonna question. I'm gonna be fair like I am all. I'm just gonna ask the questions because I'm not a part of this movement. I'm not a part of this movement, but I definitely understand the movement because the Democratic Party in Chicago have been taking us for granted. And they let all of them Venezuelans in here, and Brandon Johnson took all our tax dollars and spent it on the immigrants. Now he want to raise our taxes and make us pay more money. And Black Americans here are going to lose their homes over the Venezuelans because he done spent billions of dollars on the Venezuelans and now want to raise people's homes when people going to lose their homes because he want to raise the property taxes where he gave all that money to the government because the Venezuelans ain't getting nothing. The government got the money, to be honest with you. The government got all that money from them buildings. All them link card money went right back to the government, right back to white America. That's who got the money. White America got all of that immigrant money and sent them Venezuelans back home broke. That's a fact. But I can't criticize them for wanting to flip red. You know, I got people constantly talking about what the Republicans ain't gonna do. That's not gonna work anymore. The Democratic Party is not going to win by talking about what the Republicans are not going to do or how bad the Republicans going to be. The Democratic Party is going to have to tell us what they are going to do, and they're going to have to do it. So look, y'all, thanks for watching. Stay strong. Keep your eye on this. And it is what it is. Black Americans, let's you know what we got to do. We have to push for reparations, and I'm going to leave with this sister to show you why we want reparations. And also, don't let them tell you that the government got to pay reparations and the tax people got to pay reparations. Corporate America got to pay most of that reparations because corporate America made all the money. Victory.
This is 13 corporations that profited from slavery. So here we go. Number 1, J.P. Morgan Chase. Between 1831 and 1865, 2 predecessor banks, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted approximately 13,000 enslaved individuals as collateral on loans and took ownership of approximately 1,250 of them when the plantation owners defaulted on the loans. Number 2, New York Life, an insurance company, sold insurance policies on enslaved Africans. Number 3, Wachovia. 2 historical predecessors owned enslaved Africans and accepted them as payment. Number 4, N.M. Rothschild and Sons Bank in London. Nathan Mayer Rothschild, the banking family's 19th century patriarch, made personal gains by using enslaved Africans as collateral in dealings with a slave owner. I have a list of this, so if I stumble, it's because I have a lot of chicken scratch. Number 4, Norfolk Southern offered slaveholders $180. That's $3,379 today. This article was written in 2013. So that's $3,379 today a piece for enslaved Africans they would rent to the railroad for 1 year. The Central Georgia, another company aligned with Norfolk Southern Line today, valued slaves at $31,303. Today that would be $663,033. Did I say that right? Yes. $663,033. Hopefully that came out right. Sounds weird. Number 5. U.S. Today found that their parent company, E.W. Scripps and Gannett, had links to the slave trade. Number 6. Fleet Boston evolved from an early financial institution. Providence Bank founded John Brown, who was a slave trader and owned ships used to transport enslaved Africans. The bank financed Brown's slave voyages and profited from them. Brown even reportedly helped charter what became Brown University. Number 7. CSX used slave labor to construct portions of U.S. rail lines under the political and legal system that was in place more than a century ago. 2 enslaved Africans were John Henry and Reuben. The record states they were to be returned clothed when they arrived to work for the company. Number 8. Canadian National Railway Company. The Mobile and Ohio, now part of Canadian National, valued their slaves lost to the war and emancipation at $199,691 on record. That amount is currently worth $2.2 million. Whew. Number 9. Brown Brothers Harriman, the oldest and largest private investment bank, founded 1818, owned hundreds of enslaved Africans and financed the cotton economy by lending millions to Southern planters, merchants, and cotton brokers. Number 10. Brooks Brothers, high-end suit retailer, got their start selling slave clothes to various slave traders in the 1800s. They got their start by selling slave clothes. Number 11, Barclays. British multinational banking and financial services company headquartered in London, has now conceded that companies brought over the years may have been involved in the slave trade. Number 12, Lehman Brothers. This business empire started in the slave trade. Quote from Joe Pelizzotto: "This is a sad part of our history or our heritage. We're deeply apologetic. It was a terrible thing. There's no one sitting in the United States in the year 2005, hopefully, who would ever in a million years defend the practice? 13. Aetna. Aetna? Aetna. U.S. largest health insurer, apologized for selling policies in the 1850s that reimbursed slave owners for financial losses when the enslaved Africans they owned died. Aetna has long acknowledged that for several years shortly after its founding in 1853, that the company may have insured the lives of slaves. A few other people or a few other corporations, companies that profited from slavery: Princeton, Harvard Law School, Tiffany & Co., Bank of America, Yale University, and Wells Fargo.
My poll tax certificate from 1960 when we had to pay $2 or $3 to vote, and we only made $2 or $3. So you had to choose between eating or voting. That was the suppression back in the 60s. If you missed 1 year, they doubled it up on you the next year. I didn't have to pay because I was a veteran. So this is my exemption certificate, but I had to show it. So when they say you don't have to show ID, we've been showing ID since we started voting.